everybody. Thank you for being here and joining us for the first ever Cozy Crime Time on YouTube. I'm so excited and I hope you all had a great week. Have a great weekend planned ahead of you and are ready to jump right in to our college case. College is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be a great experience for everybody involved, but sometimes that's just not the case. You're learning how to live your life. You're learning who you are. You're learning about your future and what that holds for you. And there's other obstacles out there as well. And today, we're going to talk about one of those obstacles. He was dubbed the back to school killer. He raped and murdered college co-eds in the early 2000s. Morgan Harrington was a beautiful young woman. She was born October 1989 to Gil and Dan Harrington. She was 20 years old and attended Virginia Tech. She enjoyed being out with her friends who went to concerts, they went to coffee, they did school, and they just enjoyed being there. They enjoyed living their life. And October 17th, 2005 was no different. The friends all packed up into Morgan's car and they went to a Metallica concert at the John Paul Jones Arena at the University of Virginia. Her friend was driving due to the fact that Morgan had already had a drink and had planned on drinking at the concert, and for safety reasons, her friend was driving the car. Her friend had the keys with her at the concert and planned on driving home. When they got to the concert and it was about to start, Morgan had to use the restroom. She told her friends that she was going to use the restroom and that she would be right back. Though there were 18 bathrooms in the arena, Morgan left the stadium at around 8:30 looking for a different restroom. The friends all drove together, so they were a little bit concerned when Morgan didn't come back. At around 8:47, her friends called her to see where she was. Unfortunately, there was a no re-entry policy that they were unaware of, and she told them to just stay there. She would find a ride home. Enjoy your night. Morgan began to leave the stadium, and witnesses stated that they saw her leave with a small abrasion on her chin, no money, as she had borrowed money from her friends for concert merchandise, and she appeared to be intoxicated. Another witness stated that they saw her at around 9 o'clock in the University Hall parking lot. And then she was last seen hitchhiking at around 9:23 near Copley Bridge. There may have also been other witnesses who stated that they saw her with 3 men, but this isn't confirmed that I could find. Morgan was said to be wearing a black skirt, long black boots, black leggings, a Swarovski crystal chain, a custom Pantera shirt that her friend gave her. No one had heard from Morgan the next day either. So on October 18th, a lacrosse player who was in the area at the University of Virginia, walking through the parking lot, happened upon a purse. It was at the fence line of the Lanigan track lot, and when they went through the purse, they found that it had Morgan's ID, debit cards, driver's license, and an empty enclosed flask inside. They began the search of the area and they found Morgan's cell phone in the parking lot of the University Hall. The battery had been removed from the cell phone and they had both been dumped. Witnesses say that taxis had actually used these two parking lots as a staging ground during the concert so that they were ready when anyone wanted to go home. And one of the companies used was the Access Taxi Company. The trail went cold at that point until November 11th when police responded to a call at a property on 15th Street Northwest, where a black Pantera shirt was found. Police believed that this shirt belonged to Morgan, and so further testing was done at that point, and they found blood that matched Morgan as well. However, the blood that was on the shirt was a mixed blood sample from an unknown source. And there was unknown dog hair on her shirt as well. Seeing as how Morgan was at college, she didn't have a dog. There was now also a sketch of the suspect from what the eyewitnesses saw that evening. So, with the sketch of the suspect, the blood mix, and the dog hair, they thought that they were going somewhere. They ended up putting all of these items into evidence and really hoped that this would help them lead to closing the case. But another lull came in the case at that point. But that quickly changed as well. Things were looking up again on January 26, 2005, when unfortunately Morgan's remains were found. Her boots, leggings, and necklace were absent, as well as her underpants, from her body when she was discovered. The remains were sent to Dr. Whaley to perform an autopsy. This was all found to happen when Morgan had died, so at the time of death. So this brought the coroners to conclude that Morgan had been murdered, and the cause of death was homicide. Morgan's case, however, didn't have any closure. A $100,000 reward was put up by Crime Stoppers for any information in Morgan's case, and Metallica itself also offered an additional $50,000 to anything that would lead to a conviction in the case. But nothing came of it. It kind of went cold. There was no leads, there was no more activity, and there was no information on who this suspect that they had was. On September 13th of 2014, another beautiful young woman lost her life before her time. Hannah Graham, an 18-year-old British-born woman who was known as a high-achieving second-year student at the University of Virginia. She was athletic, trusting, sociable, and enthusiastic about life. Hannah, like Morgan, was enjoying her time at college. She had made friends, and around 7 p.m. on September 12, 2014, her and her friends met up to get ready for the night's plans. They began to drink, having a drink or two between all of them, and they were just ready to enjoy the night together. They went to a restaurant called the Fig. It was located at the corner near the university, and they were meeting for a ski team function. Hannah's night didn't end there. She went to a college party in Charlottesville where she and some high school friends arrived at around 11 p.m. About an hour passed, and Hannah said that she wasn't feeling well, and she told her friends that she was going to go home. One of her friends did offer to walk her home, but she declined and told them to just stay and enjoy their night. She was texting her friends all night, as many 18-year-old girls do. She was texting them all night, kind of keeping them updated on what was going on, and that didn't end just because she left the party. So she texted her friend at one point after leaving, stating that she was lost and she was near 14th and Wurtland Street, and then that she was at 14th and the mall. Her last text was sent at 1 a.m. and it said, "I got stuck down though." I don't know what that means. While she was texting her friends, a bouncer did see her pass McGrady's pub at 12:45. He noticed that she seemed lost, intoxicated, and he asked if she needed any help. She said she didn't need help, and she continued to walk on. There was footage at 11:55 at Preston Shell Station, and she was then seen on camera going down Preston, taking a short jog beneath a railway bridge, so like the bridge covering, and she kind of ran underneath it. And surveillance cameras continued picking up Hannah as she traveled. Next, she went to Reed's Supermarket and then the Crossings apartment complex. Then she was seen struggling to walk straight a camera at Fellini's restaurant. She turned right to go down 2nd Street toward the mall, and a witness stated that she saw an intoxicated Hannah being followed by a man who did not look friendly. Another witness stated that he forced her into an orange 1999 Chrysler Sebring while she yelled, "I'm not getting in your car." That was the last time anyone saw Hannah. Hannah was very active in the community as well as her college, and she had volunteered at the Beta Bridge and was supposed to be there on the morning of the 13th. She didn't show up. This seemed very odd to her friends, and they tried to contact her all day. After getting no response, they reported her missing on September 14th. The lack of communication was very odd for Hannah, and the police began to search for Hannah immediately. The police searched for over a month before finding her body October 18th. They found Hannah in a remote part of Albemarle County. Sorry, that one was hard for me. In a densely wooded ravine behind a vacant home. They found her crop top, jeans, and watch as well. These had all been removed from her body. They did not find her underwear, shoes, or cell phone. So, that's unfortunate. Autopsy was conducted, and besides 2 breaks in her nose, there was no other bone damage. Leading to the investigators believing that her cause of death was homicide. So, they believed that she had either been suffocated or strangled, and due to eyewitness testimony and surveillance cameras, a suspect was quickly found. His name was Jesse Matthew Jr. He was born and raised in the area, and he drove taxis for the Access Taxi Company in Albemarle County. He was 6'2" and weighed 270 pounds. Jesse was witnessed at multiple bars and locations the night of the 12th and into the 13th. Many women that night stated that he had made them uncomfortable with his sexual advances. He said he was just trying to meet girls. At one bar, he was cradling women's butts, dancing suggestively with them, and he removed one woman's boots and socks and began to play with her feet, despite her protesting these actions. He told her, "A woman that takes care of her feet takes care of everything." He then grabbed another woman by the leg. At another bar, he grabbed a woman's butt again and was warned to leave. He left this bar at 1:03 a.m. Minutes after this, he was seen walking westbound on the mall, and he is seen on surveillance footage walking past Hannah, noticing her, turning around, and beginning to follow her. At 1:10 a.m., they both arrived at Tempo Bar, and he purchased drinks for the two of them. Witnesses were heard saying he's going to fuck her up. They left that bar together, and they passed the Red Pump Kitchen at around 1:18 a.m. They then paused. This was caught through shadows on the surveillance camera that could see that they had stopped walking. A witness said that at this time they started walking separately again, but he was still following her. He then got her into his car. Witnesses said that she sounded scared, but by the time they went to get the plates, they were gone. At 12:31 on the 13th, Jesse had turned off his phone. This was so it couldn't be tracked. This shows me that he had full intentions of committing some kind of crime that evening. At 4:26 p.m., his phone turned back on with multiple missed calls and texts, including one from his girlfriend, saying, "Morning, hope your day is going well." Jesse lived only 5 miles from where Hannah's body was found. A neighbor was able to identify Jesse's car as being at the scene of the crime. He was said to be acting very strange in the days after the murder. This was enough information to warrant the police obtaining a search warrant of Jesse's car on September 19th. A search warrant for his house would later be obtained, and between his car and his home, it was a treasure trove of evidence for the police. In the car and the home, they found hospital gloves, hospital antiseptic wipes, cell phones with removed SIM cards, blood. That's DNA profile was examined, as well as a pair of shorts with mixed DNA that was found on the floor of Jesse's bedroom. After the police took the camera and searched the home, Jesse's roommate, who later sent a video of Jesse and Hannah together to the police, took Jesse to his mother's home, where Jesse got a new driver's license and took everything but $30 out of his bank account. On the 20th, he contacted the detectives and said that he was going to come in to talk to them. At 3:49, he showed up to the police station but decided not to talk to the police, and he left. The FBI then began to trail Jesse, as they felt like he was a viable suspect. In doing so, however, Jesse tried to evade them, driving recklessly on the roads in Albemarle County. This warranted his arrest warrant. So the FBI then put out an arrest warrant for his reckless endangerment driving that he had done while they were tailing him. Now aware that he was the main suspect in Hannah's disappearance, Jesse fled in his sister's car. A manhunt began, and after the September 24th abduction charges were filed. Jesse was arrested and gave a fake name in Galveston, Texas, and as he was now under arrest, other things were happening behind the scenes. So on the 24th, forensic scientist Ballard conducted an indirect comparison of the DNA on the shirt from Morgan's case in 2005 to Jesse's DNA, and it came back positive. The full DNA test was performed in August of 2015, and this came back positive. They also tested Jesse's dog Peanut's fur against the fur that they found on Jesse's shirt, and this also came back positive. So they got a warrant for any phone records from 2005, as he had a Nextel phone back then, and it wasn't the same phone. And this showed that he was in the Charlottesville area with his cab van on the night of Morgan's murder. Jesse was charged with capital murder, which carries a death penalty if convicted. However, he did have a plea bargain, and on September 15th of 2015, he was formally charged with first-degree murder and abduction of Morgan. Jesse was offered a plea deal, like I said before, and he pled guilty to both crimes. He was sentenced to 4 consecutive life sentences. He was also charged with attempted murder, object sexual penetration, and abduction from an unrelated case in 2005, and these charges were brought up October 20th, 2014. He entered an Alford plea for these charges, and an Alford plea is when a defendant claims their innocence but still pleads guilty. So he still was saying he was innocent of these charges, but he pled guilty anyway. He was sentenced to 3 life terms for this case. It was reported on May 21st, 2019, that Jesse was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer and was moved from Red Onion State Prison to Waverly, Virginia for cancer treatment. And I'm sorry that you have cancer. After Hannah was found and identified, the students at the University of Virginia erected a memorial on the grounds in her honor. The World Bank also held an annual award for innovations to reduce gender-based violence held in memory of Hannah, and the Hannah Graham Memorial Scholarship was created in 2021 in honor of her dedication and participation in softball leagues around Northern Virginia. Though I'm thankful for the things that came from this, I do feel terrible for the way that they came. There was no reason for these 2 women to lose their lives to a man for no reason. That being said, that's all I have today. If you have any thoughts, questions, concerns, please jump below in the chat box. I also have a Discord that I will add to my profile, so you can jump over there if you have any case suggestions or anything like that you want to hear about. Again, thank you everybody for being here for my first ever YouTube with Cozy Crime Time. I hope you all have a great day. I hope you have a great weekend. Make good choices. Live your best life. Drink your water and eat your veggies. And I hope everybody has a great day. Bye.